Welcome back to my channel. Today we are... Okay, one more time. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are gonna learn how to prepare for the interview, how to make CVs, cover letter, everything that I hate basically is gonna be taught today. Well, I'm not gonna call it like a class or a lesson, but you're gonna give us tips, right? How to do it the best way possible to get the job. I'm gonna explain basically how I imagine today's interview is gonna be like kind of like a war. It's gonna be me vs you versus, because do you remember we talked about this? I found my job for people.
Yeah.
And I like when everything happens just quick, when I meet the person, I know what to say, how to promote myself, I get the job, and I start the job. You like to do CVs, and well, maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe it's not your favorite thing. But this is what you do. And the way we've met, I came to Alex's impromptu class or like a gathering where you could just, anyone could just ask him questions about CVs and how to do it properly and how to do interviews, how to answer those specific weird questions on the interviews, how to communicate during that, like the whole, how to do this whole thing.
The strategy of getting yourself into a corporate job.
Basically the strategy. And I was kind of trying to do that, and then I said, I know the guy. I'm just gonna go to that guy. I'm gonna tell him that, like, I'm just gonna remind everybody I know, literally, where I see any possibility of getting a job, I'm gonna remind them of myself, and I will get the job. And this is what happened. And then I met with you a few months after, and I told you that I just got my job through somebody I knew.
Which is great.
Which is great, and it's just two different approaches. And today I want to find out more about your way and how you did it. This is why, first of all, I'm going to ask you to tell the story of how you did it, how you got the job, and to mention as well that you're not from the UK. So as for someone as you, right, who is not from the UK, that's almost impossible. I viewed it before as impossible to come here and work and
in a very good company, I guess, and be
especially for a big company. So how did you do that?
It's very doable. Very doable.
That's a good start.
It's possible, and a lot of people done it. I'm not special in any way, shape, or form. So, but starting about myself, thank you very much for asking that. Originally, I'm coming from Moldova. My parents own their own little business and never been through university or anything like that, or worked for someone. They always worked for themselves. So, and I was helping them, and it never even occurred to me that one day I will be in a corporation working for something that big or something. So
you were always prepared to do your stuff.
No, not really.
Like
but it's like I didn't have the knowledge of how to be getting here. So,
examples, right?
Examples, exactly. They had their business, and I was learning from them what they knew. And then, as every Moldovan, I guess, we believe that if you go to the university in the UK, you finish university, and then just golden gates are open in front of you, and everyone is offering you millions and millions and best jobs ever, and you do nothing else but enjoy the life just because you finished a university in the UK. That's what. Same
with moving to the UK. I just moved to the UK, and just my Instagram looks perfect, and I live an amazing life. But guys.
Guess that was the understanding, that was the dream. And then once I went and studied in Nottingham, was studying law degree.
So you studied here?
I've studied in the UK, yes.
Whole university, like you started?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter where. Honestly, it doesn't matter which country
Really?
you finish university. It's not part of selection process, I would say. So
It's not part of Rex.
not a part of selection process. You don't. The company is not looking. Did you finish university in the UK or did you finish university in the Ukraine?
Are you
It doesn't matter.
Ready to
So
go.
look, what I want to show you.
Can I? Yeah.
please. The building is from two parts. We're on part A, that one is part B, and in between this little pathway is called Roman pathways.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, the real Romans were coming to UK, to London, and they were passing on this road. They built this road themselves.
Right here.
So this is kind of a historical place, and when the building Bloomberg was designed, they left that pathway in between of two sides of the building.
Yeah.
So we built a building around that pathway, and we kept as a memory of the Romans as well. And when they were excavating the building, we found a lot of different Roman artifacts, and we kept them as well. And you can see them right now in Mitrarium, we call it. So it's like a historical place where you can go there and see all these things that we found, as well as a temple of Mitra. And it used to be a real temple where people used to come, Romans, and pray to their god Mitra.
That's
Yeah.
a
Can
very
we
cool
just?
fact.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it this way. I'm just gonna, as someone who represents everybody who struggles with CV, getting the job, going through interview, I will just throw in my little questions or thoughts about it. Like right now, you said that it doesn't matter, but it actually, like my position, I always thought that it matters because I've heard a lot that they choose you from the name of your university. How it matters how big your university is. You know, this is what I was told. Or the job, so they kind of look for something big names in your CV.
It helps, but it's not everything. So if you finished Harvard or Oxford,
Yeah.
I guess yes, that's inevitably will put you ahead of some other guys.
Okay.
But let's
Yeah.
be honest, most of the people have not finished Oxfords or Cambridges, and those who have, it's different story, I guess. Those are like elite league that puts you on a bit of a different level. You probably straight away, but again, those guys would start working for JP Morgan as an analyst, just as someone else who finished, like me, Nottingham Trent University. Do you know anything about Nottingham Trent? No, you don't. No
No.
one does. It's
Even though
small,
I-
it's tiny, it's not anything cool. It's not prestigious
I
whatsoever.
worked with, like in education sphere for a while, a little bit last year here.
Yeah.
So I got to know a lot of universities, colleges, and the whole system, educational system. I don't remember them.
Yeah, no, and not surprisingly, so it's not the best one. But again, and then somehow I've ended up in one of the most prestigious companies to work for. And then my colleagues who I'm working with, some of them, they finished LSE or London School of Economics, some really prestigious universities. And we are on the same position, we go in the same directions. And now it matters more of what we do here instead of what is your background. And then on the application process as well, again, if there is someone from Harvard or then myself from Nottingham Trent, they will look probably at the experience as well. What was the experience that I had and the stories that I'm bringing in, apart from just university.
Okay. So after your university, you started looking.
Started looking for jobs, and it was a huge challenge for me. I didn't complain though that because I'm speaking with an accent or something, I knew that I'm doing something wrong and I could not figure out what wrong I'm doing. But the things, and I was looking, researching, trying to figure out how to pass the interview, because I understand that there should be a way of what sort of things to say or yeah.
It's like in school, right? With exams. for
Kind of an
example,
exam.
or-
It's definitely an exam,
Yeah.
and you have to be prepared for it.
In English schools, they always even have this separate class where they learn how the structure of exams, I always forget what's the name of it, but it's like they just have regular class and they're being taught how to answer specific questions, how to read the question, and how to understand the question in the exam.
That's very good. My university did not teach me
Yeah.
that. They didn't teach me how to get a good job either, so I had to go through that myself. But I did figure out during the university that exams do have structure. I did figure out myself, and then somehow ended up getting a very good mark at university just because, again, I understood that there is a structure of exam. Once you understand the structure, it makes it easier to navigate it, to pass it. Exactly. You know what they're looking for. It's not, even if you know the answer, maybe they look for somehow a little bit different way to present it. And the same goes for the job interviews. You have to present it in a specific way. And then going through numerous interviews, because my CV was good. I've read how to do a CV. I've done a good CV, so I was applying for jobs and I was getting invited to interviews all the time. But then once I was getting to the interview, I was consistently failing them, and I could not understand why. But I was researching. I spent 1.5 years doing that. And then
That's a long time.
That's a very long time. But
That scares me.
but I was very persistent and wanted to get somewhere very nice, especially finishing university. So, and then I met this lady who helped me a bit of. She spent half an hour with me, changed a little bit my mindset, and she was like, "It's not just about you; it's more about them, what they look for."
Yeah.
And she taught me about the culture, values. I was like, why would I care about culture and values? I want the job. But once she explained me those little things, once that shift has happened, mindset shift, I've ended up getting 3 offers at the same time from IBM, which is a big company, HP, which is another large,
Know that.
and Bloomberg. I am a law graduate, and now I'm working for a technology company which is producing information for financial industry. There is nothing related in law to what I'm doing right now, but I'm very successful with this part of the business of technology/finance. Back to university, it matters a little bit, but it's not the biggest point. And then what you studied, again, it's important, but not very. It's more of how you will present what you studied or where you want to go during the interview. Your experience as well matters a little bit, but all that matters the most is your understanding of the company, your understanding of the role, and your story that you are coming with on the interview. It has to make sense. That's what I'm saying to everyone I'm helping. It has to make sense. As long as it makes sense, the person in front of you, they'll be like, okay, that makes sense. Why they're here? So, but you need to understand them. You need to understand yourself.
We'll get back to that just a little later when we're going to go into detail how to solve that whole I cannot find a job thing. But before that, you work for Bloomberg, which is a huge company, right? I did my homework. I looked it up.
Let's see what you've got there.
Well, I just opened Wikipedia and stuff in Google, and it says that it's a global leader in business and financial information. Basically, if I had to explain it just in simple words, it's a company that provides the whole world, and especially like financial institutions, with financial companies, banks, everything that has to do with money, with receiving information and news, everything that's happening around the world in a second, right? They just provide information for that, because for money that's important. Trading, right? It's all based on news, on what is happening in the world. From, I don't know, some singer did something to there is an earthquake in Japan.
More or less, but you're very, very, very right, and the research was done perfectly well. So it is a data and information and news company, as you said, for the financial market. Whoever is on financial market, either a central bank, commercial bank, investment company, any pension funds or insurance companies, as well as corporates, they all need information. As you mentioned, a trader, perfect.
That's the first association when I think of Bloomberg, because they...
Yeah, they will need to have graphs.
Yeah.
If it's a trader, he's looking at technical analysis, they will need to have graphs. We produce the graphs. The graphs are produced based on the numbers that we are getting from, let's say, exchanges on the live pricing or financial reports of the companies. We gather all sort of information, presented in a nice way, and it's very reliable, very transparent. You know, you can know where that information is coming from, and then get those analytical tools about economy, about companies, about bonds, and so on, money markets.
What do you do here?
I work in sales.
Like Bloomberg is Bloomberg, and it's fine, it's big. But yeah, what do you do exactly here?
So Bloomberg produces this platform called Terminal, and then some other products around this terminal. But the main one would be Bloomberg Terminal, and I am selling the product. My role is account manager, which is / sales, and I travel the world. I've got 6 countries now that I'm covering, as it's my region, and I'm responsible for keeping existing clients and growing the business in the area. Which is very enjoyable because I've spent 1 week in London, 1 week outside London, somewhere in Europe, meeting guys, like as I mentioned, from central bank to the investment companies to corporations, all who are on the financial markets of the country. And we helping them and me being responsible for those guys.
It sounds like a very interesting thing to do.
It is.
For how long you've been doing it?
This particular role, it was since last August, so that's around 7-8 months.
Okay, how many of roles you had during the period, the whole period of working for the company?
I'm with Bloomberg for 4.5 years, and I had 4 roles. Started as customer support.
Because basically you grow every year.
Every year, essentially, yeah.
I think
the salary grows every year as well, which is very good. It grows exponentially.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Sounds like a perfect... Oh, sorry if you heard that. Sounds like a good company, especially considering we just grabbed coffee downstairs and snacks for free.
I mean, yeah.
I like what I see. Do they need anybody in marketing? Probably not. Going back to CVs and your job and your position, the very, very first one, how did you get that one?
Yeah, that was via general regular application.
So you just applied?
Which you don't like, you said, but that's how it happened with my particular case. I was just browsing online every day, and I had a strong CV, as I said. I had a cover letter, and then I saw Bloomberg. They needed someone who is good with customers and who is speaking Russian. I am a Russian speaker, so that's what got me in. And then I applied, was invited to the interview. I've done several rounds, which I thought I failed every single one of them, but apparently not. And they offered me a job.
Do you think they kept you going only because of Russian?
Oh, 100% not, because there are so many Russian and other language speakers.
Really?
300 people were applying for my role at the same time, because LinkedIn has this number of how many went through.
I hate that number as well. Hate that number.
300 something number of applicants for that particular role, and I got the job. So I don't think it's solely because of my Russian skills. There were 300 other people.
How you got them to, I don't want to say believe you, but how you tricked them
No, it's not a trick.
into that of hiring you?
Oh, that will be now a long conversation on the not tricks, but
main
again, that would be
things. If you remember anything like specific, you know, insights from that time.
Yeah, no, it's
of
from
what you've done,
100%.
yeah, and it affected them.
I've applied online, so that's a regular application online. I didn't go through friends, or which is a good way as well, by the way. But I've applied on their website via LinkedIn. I found the role on LinkedIn, went on their website and sent the application of my CV and cover letter, which I've crafted for the job specifically. So I've read very well about the company, about the role itself. I've changed things in my CV to be applicable for this job, as well as in my cover letter, created it specifically for the customer support role in Bloomberg. Then I sent an application, and what they've done is send me a link back the next day of pre-recorded interview. So what that is they have questions like 5, 7 questions, and you have to record yourself. You just press record, and then you
So
recording.
that,
Terrifying.
yeah, it is. I didn't do it, by the way, when I applied for like recently another job, because I'm also exploring. Even though I've got the job, I'm exploring other opportunities. And I saw one of them ask me to do that. I haven't.
No,
did it.
yeah. I'll tell you how to overcome that. So the first time I saw it, someone sent it before Bloomberg to me again during my 1.5 years. And I open and the camera starts recording, and I am not prepared. I'm just like, as I was making my mistakes, I'm like, I knew a little bit about the company, and the first question, why do you want to work for us? And I'm like, done. I just shut the laptop down.
Cancel.
Like literally, just
Cancel
that's done.
recording.
Very painful, but this time with Bloomberg, I was prepared for that. I knew that something like that is coming, that there will be several questions. And again, that's where the preparation comes. I knew everything about the role. I knew that approximately these 5, 7 questions, whatever that will be, they will be asking me. When you read the job description, you can understand what questions they might ask, because that what they will not be asking you questions how to build a rocket if you're going for a customer support role. They will be asking you something about how do you handle angry client. So I had a story prepared for an angry client, and that's exactly what came up. The video comes up, the question comes up, Alex, how did you manage an angry client? And I have this answer prepared, and it is uncomfortable to record yourself, but you have to do it. Everyone has to do it, and many people who feel like, I'm worried, they didn't get the job. Out of 300 applications, maybe half of them did not record themselves.
I didn't think of that, by the way. Yeah, half of them probably would not do it just because they're scared of the camera.
They're scared of the camera. Out next.
I do YouTube, and I got scared of the camera.
But you didn't get scared of the camera. You did get scared of not knowing what to answer. You were not prepared, and I can tell that now.
Yeah.
If you spend time prepared for the for the interview, you would be like, I need to do it, and you would do it.
I figured that with interviews, I just got this since I started doing it when I was like 17 probably and studying in Bulgaria. You just develop this. You don't like this feeling of being interviewed, you know?
Why not?
Your brain, I don't know, it associates it with just unpleasant experience where you're being asked questions and they're saying bye, thank you, and they didn't never call, and 1 time, 5th time, 20th time, and you just save that as an unpleasant action or experience. And this is why I decided to go with finding someone I know and who can offer me the job rather
without going through interview.
Exactly.
But if your dream company is Bloomberg or Google, you will have to go through interview process. There is no things like just going through friends. And let me switch your mindset a little bit about your fear of interviews or being unpleasant. Why is it unpleasant? That's an opportunity for you. Again, if you were very well prepared, you will understand yourself and where you want to be, where you want to go, and what you want to do in life. And you'll be like, just sharing your experience. You will be proud of yourself, and you're coming there, and the guys are asking about yourself. Tell me more about yourself. And you're like, guys, let me tell you about me. I'm excited about this and that. I've always been excited about the YouTube and wanting to interview people and things like that. So you tell them your story, which you're proud of. They keep asking you questions. Can you tell me about your success on that and that? And you're like, hey, let me tell you about my success. That's a pleasant experience, and I'm looking forward for working with this particular company, because on that position I will be changing the world. I will be recording videos for a multi-million-dollar company, whatever. Like, isn't that excites you?
That excites me when you speak of it right now, but when it's in my head, I just think that in general, in our culture, and not only speaking probably about Russian-speaking culture and all the post-Soviet countries, English culture as well, just people in general, we're not, you would agree with me, it's not supernatural for us, it's not super approved that for people to be like, oh, I'm good, I'm doing this, you know, like what you said, like being that excited about promoting yourself. Because usually when you start doing that, people call you what? You not bragging? Is it bragging? I don't know why this
but
word.
that's your
Yeah,
opportunity
bragging.
to shine, I guess. One time when no one's gonna
Well,
judge you.
in post-Soviet USSR countries, nobody shines. Nobody shines there, right? Everybody's the same.
But no, that's the opportunity to definitely to tell more about yourself, and again, being more excited about the role. And it's not showing off. It's more of,
Yeah, because it
okay,
feels like a look at what you've got. Look what I've got there.
I was helping this guy getting a consultancy job, and he's into numbers and looking like deeply into the processes, which I don't like whatsoever. He does, he enjoys it. And then when we were creating his story, tell me about yourself. So tell me about yourself is the first question in the interview. And again, it's not about bragging, it's more of, so I always was good with numbers. I like to dig into the processes of how things are working. And I always liked finance as well, of how the economy works. I wanted to learn more about it. That's why I went to university to study and studied economics, because I wanted to learn more about how economy works. And then from there, from university, it made sense for me to go to this particular company and learn more about X, Y, and Z. There, I've done very successful projects like this these days. In few words, it's not really showing off or bragging. It's, I was excited about this particular topic. That's why I went to university.
Yeah.
You're just telling about yourself in a nice, beautiful way.
Perspective. one
Finished
of
university, and then I wanted to learn more about this topic. That's why I joined another company. Right now, I've done with that company. I've learned what I needed to do. I'm excited to learn next step, and that's what you guys providing me. That's why I'm here today. That's not bragging. That's exciting for me.
No, I mean, yes, again, it's not. It's just there are so many perspectives to look at it, and our psychology or our culture or whatever is just looks at it from that perspective, from perspective of bragging, especially our Russian-speaking, like Russian-speaking countries.
Let's change that, because you're in an interview
Let's
and you
change
want to
that.
get a job. Fun fact about Bloomberg. In every office all over the world, wherever you will get, you will see the aquariums, and there is a reason for that. So Mike, the owner of the company, when he was working for a bank, and he had like a very dual job, and we had to look at the numbers all day long, and it was very stressful for him. And he had one little aquarium in front of him with a golden fish, and was always looking at that golden fish whenever he felt stressed. And in his mind, he was thinking, if I ever have company of my own, I'll have aquariums there as well. And there we are. Every Bloomberg office, wherever you go around the world, will have aquariums there. And it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I have a feeling, because you said that we will have that a bit of back and forth, and I have a feeling that you're not always super happy with what you get. And you said it. Even though you got a job now through a friend, you kind of still looking. I'm not looking. I am like super happy. I will be looking at some point anyways, because I will want to progress more and go, but I will be looking again for exciting things in life. Like, it will be big, huge, great. And then if you don't want to go through the interview, kind of maybe sometimes you would be like settling for less. Maybe I'm not saying that that's the case, but potentially there is that. But if you fight that feeling of whatever that blocks you have, hey, let's cancel those blocks. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's get it. Learn how the process works. Get it on board, and then do exciting things in life.
Yeah, I agree with you totally.
So I convinced you on going this route now, I believe. Okay.
Oh,
What questions do you have?
relaxing. You know, when somebody tells you this in a nice way, and
Yeah.
when somebody persuades you from that side, you know that it's not scary, that you can do it. Of course, it's like with me teaching English, and when I tell people that no, it's not scary, blah blah blah,
And
I
there is
literally,
something great at the end as well.
yeah, I take your hand and we're gonna walk through it. Of course, it just feels, it's like, because when you're scary, you kind of feel like a kid. When you're in that state of being in a fear, that always feels like you're going back to your childhood, and it's always good when somebody is an adult near you and grabs your hand and walks you through it. Wanted to ask you 3 things that you notice most often in people's CVs that our viewers can just open their CVs and change right now, and that's going to improve it. I don't want to say 100%, right? Because you might have more than 3 things wrong, but drastically improve their CV.
Okay. At some point, an HR person will be looking into your CV. So I want to start from that perspective of HR person who will be looking into your CV, and they will have to look through, let's say, 300 CVs that been submitted to them
especially in London.
as I did. And as an HR person, they will have, I've seen the research, 7 seconds that they are spending average to just say yes or no quickly on the CV, and then they decide to spend a little bit more time on that. So let's imagine you're an HR person who has to go through 300 CVs. You have 7 seconds to look into one, and then something comes up and it says at the bottom 4 pages.
I'd probably freak out and be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's just that number alone. Whatever
Yeah.
the information here, especially if you're applying for some sort of a entry/mid-level type of role.
I'd be like, if I'm reading a biography of a famous person,
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
then one first page is long. It's like you don't want to do that. You want to cut your CV to 1, maximum 2 pages. Again, 2 pages if you're some sort of mid-level / higher executive already, or something that you actually have been through several companies. Everything is very relevant that you've done to this job. You jumped several companies. Then kind of makes sense. Once you really experience, you've been on the market 20 years, then yes. If you're a bit more,
say, right?
Yeah, because that's all like super valuable information. If you are fresh out of uni student, let's say, and then you have 3 pages CV, where is that, like, why is that even, what is relevant there? All is relevant is maybe 1-2 experiences that you've done within the university and your university. So that's 1 page CV. Do it 1 page in a nice, easily read manner. So on the top, your name, LinkedIn, super important, email, phone number. That's about it.
Yeah.
Just
address?
heading.
Just a quick
You
one.
have to put either the city or country you are in at the moment. If you're applying, like let's say we're in London, we're applying for London jobs. Perfect, put London. So, or if you are, let's say, somewhere outside, you're in Germany now, but then you're applying for London jobs, you can still put London or you can put Germany. So it's up to you actually, because straight away they will know that they will need to relocate you, or you can put London because that's where you want to be.
Okay. Any
So
other?
yeah, but no like your home address, postcode, everything. Don't do it. London, UK, good enough.
Okay.
That's then again you should put like a summary section on top.
Yeah.
Several sentences, not long sentences, maybe 3-4 lines long, about your career experience. If you're freshly out of university, recent graduate, that would be my starting line. Recent graduate in law with business, whatever.
Okay.
With experience working for restaurants, whatever, looking to get to a specific role, and you name the role. Or if you are an experienced person, okay, so experienced or result-oriented account manager with experience working for Bloomberg with many multiple international clients, whatever. So
Okay.
just a few sentences about yourself, but every word has to make
So,
has to fight for the reason to be there. Like, just don't put too much. Like, every word has to
say something
say
really,
something
right?
important. Yes.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And right now I'm talking about the generic kind of first CV, but I will give you a little bit more tricks there as well. So the next section, it can be your skills or aptitude, what sets you apart of like being so maybe some hard skills of
What about soft skills
CC
now?
language, but you can do soft skills. So several
Yeah.
hard skills, several soft skills. Don't do communication, by the way. Why? You have to show that you are good at communication, not
Okay.
write it down. Don't waste the words there.
Another tip?
Yeah, and then if you're recent grad, you're going with first your university, recent studies, what you
Yeah.
were studying.
Yeah.
If you're experienced, you put first as your experience, and then education at the bottom. So whatever the situation is, um, either you're experienced first, or just fresh out of uni, you go for education first. And then at the bottom, you will put your additional certificates, additional maybe some sort of skills. Where is that coming
I
from?
don't know. Everything is closed. We're
Yeah.
literally in a
Hi.
glass aquarium or something. The building is so funny.
Yeah, and then bottom, just some interests as well. If you have some sports or something like that, just shows a bit of your personality. It's not a must, but good to have.
People here, I think, like kind of personal approach, right? To give them a bit of your personality in terms of like, I play volleyball or
But
I
it's
play
not gonna, trust me, it's not gonna be like life-changing there. It's like,
No, but it's nice.
it's nice. Again, maybe that's something. It depends of your interviewer. Maybe they will want to have a conversation about that. So if you have enough space at the bottom, then do put something if you feel passionate about it. Even if you're watching football, maybe you will put there football, and then the guy who is interviewing it, if it's a guy and he likes football as well, you might have a little conversation here and there, and he'll be like, okay, I want to work with this guy because it feels nice. Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is relevant,
Yeah.
but most of the times it's not like life-changing.
I mean,
But
of
it could
course.
be. Anything could be.
Yeah, it's just because of like English speaking culture. Kyle, culture here in London and English culture, they like this kind of personal approach a little bit. They don't mind your personal details in something work related. When if you put play football in Ukraine in your CV, we would not consider that. We would probably see it as unprofessional.
Why even put it there?
Yeah, why would it be there? Here, they like a bit of your personality. That's my opinion again. But you gotta, of course, if you apply for a Russian company in London, probably, again, culture is preserved in that company. So, and that, anyways, not a professional here, right? I'm
No,
just
but
saying.
it could be beneficial to put it in,
Yeah.
because it could spark a conversation, and then you will feel comfortable
True.
about it. And at the end of the day, you're looking for if you're like a hiring manager or hiring personnel, you're looking for a co-worker as well. So who I'm going to be spending time with. If you're absolute like snob, then maybe I just don't want to work with you.
Yeah, true.
Which shouldn't really reflect on your decision, but we're humans, so it is.
So do I get it correctly? So basically in your CV, we're trying to catch their attention and walk their attention through the CV. This is why it's like steps of catching
ticking
attention.
the points. Okay, this guy does this.
Yeah.
And the next thing that's what I was saying. It was more about the generic. Okay, generic how it should look. But then the most important, the juice is, once you figure out which job you want to go for, you're creating your CV not for yourself but for them. So you crafted, and as I said, for Bloomberg, I did it for any company I was applying for in the last months of my applications. It was I was targeting this particular job. So you create one generic CV, and then specifically for each application you will be amending it to the job that you're applying for, and you will be selecting the words from the job description and placing them into your CV. It will help the reader, the HR, to go through and be like, okay, it looks like a match, because HR person, it didn't do sales, for example, or product development, product manager, but they look at the job description, they look at the
They might not know what sort of skills you need.
It depends on the but yeah,
well,
but it might be the case as well,
deeply,
and
right?
they will be comparing and be like, okay, this
Just
guy
words,
looks like
basically.
a fit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, by the way. Yeah, I think in my case, I was so in all the stress because of, again, I explained you why I'm stressing about CVs and interviews, that it's hard to look at it from another perspective, which is their perspective. And as you said, that was a bit of an insight that HR might not know, probably sometimes even 50% of what they're looking
Because
for.
they are HR.
Yeah, because they're HR. They work with people, they don't work with sales or
HR
computers.
specialize in different things as well. There will be HR for entry-level jobs, HR for engineering. They will be a bit more experienced. But let's say your CV got to someone who is first day on their job, and they got this task, hey, select these people, and then she's just looking and comparing. Again, but it's not even to that. It's more of, it has to align, your CV has to align with the job description very, very well.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the bottom line.
Going back to the times when you applied for your job, do you remember yourself when you did that? And would you, my question is the main question, would you give your past self the job? Because now I know that you interview people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You conduct interviews.
Yes. So look, that's a perfect question, and I've asked myself that question as well. And when I've started interviewing people, I was given the access to our internal platform to see the previous recordings of those videos which I was mentioning. I had myself there, and I found myself, and the moment I opened that page for the first time, that access, I'm like, am I there? Clearly I went there. The next few minutes I was spending is going through and searching for myself. So I did find myself, and then I was watching this, and as I said, when I was going through interviews, I was thinking like, oh my God, that's a fail for sure. But when I rewatched the videos, I'm like, oh my God, I would definitely pass me through based on my answers. Exactly, because I knew why Bloomberg, and I was giving them points, point by point, exactly what I'm teaching you now, of like, I know the company very well, I knew the role very well. Tell me the situation when you had to deal with angry client. I've done an amazing answer on how I dealt with an angry client. And if I'm sitting now and watching myself 2 years ago, and I'm like, wow, that was good, I would definitely pass. And then watching some other interviews and seeing the mistakes that I was making for others, of when you're shutting the laptop, okay, done. But or not knowing the company, or not having the prepared answers. Some people who come to my sessions, they're like, but won't I sound scripted? Apparently not. You will not. I've watched myself, even though the answers were memorized. I've memorized the answers. Again, you know approximately what they will ask. You create some stories. You memorize the answers, and then you just giving it back. That's how you feel confident. And then once I watched it back, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't look memorized. It looks natural. It looks like I'm just telling a story.
Well,
and it just makes sense.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So I would give myself a job because I've watched it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
very interesting. You rarely have a chance to see
to see
yourself
yourself perform.
in the past. Yeah, like the interview recorded and you watch it in years, and yeah, you would still give yourself a job after
Yeah.
you've walked the whole path and you interview people now. Yeah, that's very interesting.
And the thing I want to highlight here a lot, that it will not sound like you repeating yourself, or it doesn't sound like you are not scripted. It looks natural. It's more natural than if you start looking for a situation right at the like
And you
tell me about when you had to do this and that, and you start going through memories in your head, picking up a story and then giving it back. You might miss some details or something like that, but if you
Yeah.
prepare the story beforehand, it will just sound very good. And I will stick here for 1 second on answering the situational based questions and how that will sound the most natural and the best for the interviewer to understand you. It's if you answer it in this way: situation, task, action, result. It's called STAR. Again, situation, task, action, result.
Yeah, I'm gonna add it here at the screen.
Perfect. So you tell them the situation that you've been in.
Yeah.
What was the task that you had to perform? What was the action that you've done? And what was the result? And again, it will sound very, very natural from the beginning till the end.
Yeah, it will just sound, it doesn't sound as if you're acting, it just sounds clear, right? And nice.
Yeah, and
People like clear stuff.
yeah, because you want as an interviewer, you want to really understand the story.
Yeah.
You want to like they will feel it, they will remember it. The best is like if you leave the interview and then the interviewer is still thinking of your answers, like, oh, that's a good story. Like you've done something interesting. Oh wow, that was a good approach. Definitely you passed. Instead of you starting coming up with stories on the interview, think it you
Just
kind of
messy.
you kind of it might be that you will miss some points, and that's not good. You have one chance to impress. Prepare.
Okay, it was so nice, and we are back to back to scary stuff that you have only one chance to impress. As I know, now you help others
Yes.
to do this whole process and not to stress.
You know what I'm thinking? Sorry for interrupting you, but now because the way you've started, you are like we are on different approaches here. I will try to motivate you, and that will be goal of this interview for me, and nothing else. Is just to make you want to work for a company like this and actually putting a bit of effort. And look,
You think I can?
I think you can. Why can you not? Why can you not work for YouTube directly?
I'd love
Or
to.
why can you not work for a large conglomerate, something where you will be learning from? You can end up doing your YouTube as well, but you will learn from them so much. A lot of people are now saying you get your own business and things like that, and that perfect, but why not to go and learn from the best or the biggest and then implement it as well? There are different ways to do it, but this one is definitely an interesting one as well.
Yeah, well, I definitely not, well, I don't want to say I'm not gonna, but less chances that I'm gonna meet, I'm gonna do the same as I got this job. I'm gonna meet the director of YouTube, and he's gonna get me the job.
And you will still have to go through the interview. And here is one thing. I totally, by the way, I totally with you on networking and collaborating. I'm not saying that's wrong. I actually think that's the better way. But I just do tell you that you will still have to go through interviews most of the time if you're going for a large
companies, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
I work for a small company, though,
having a that skill of networking, it's very, very good. So if you go on LinkedIn, for example, create your page. That's another way to do it. You create a nice, attractive page, and then you start working with people. You start reaching out, commenting on other posts, creating your own posts, reaching out directly to people and asking for the network. and then building the relationships, and that's probably even more uh, effective way than just sending applications. Just sending applications could be successful, but that's not the only way. And I think networking is a better way. But then again, the what I'm trying to do here is more of like the caliber of the companies that you are aiming for. Um, Going for a smaller, it's easier to get. Going for a larger, it's a bit harder to get. So you have to prepare. But the reward might be different.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. Everywhere you need this personal approach, right? And this is exactly what you do with people. They come to you, they ask for your help, and I've been to some of the sessions. We had, well, I was looking for marketing. Then I remember the girl who was looking for bank. I think you remember we were here.
Yeah.
She was, yeah, she wanted to get into like banks and stuff, and she needed help with CV and interview. This is exactly what Alex does, by the way, right? This personal approach and helping to first of all build the goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we figure even, I mean, we can build it, we can figure it out,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And clear your mindset a little bit, like remove all the dust from there, all the scary moments, and go for it. Build the CV, build the cover letter, prepare for the interview. Another thing I wanted to mention while you were telling me about the story when you saw yourself in the past doing the video recording, would be nice to have such a recording, even if you do it, to show people, like when you prepare yourself for an interview, right? You record yourself, how you do it, and so people can see that you don't look like a robot when you're prepared. You just look like you're clear and prepared.
Okay.
You know, like visual proof that you do not look weird as if you're like, hello, my name is Marina, I am 26 years old.
I've got an interview on Monday. I'm not looking for a job, but people reach out to me on LinkedIn. They're like, hey, here is
Really?
another. Yeah.
The offer?
Absolutely, yes. And they're like, that's the benefit of working for something like Bloomberg, because then you've got the kind of name behind you, and they reach out to you and they're hunting you. So I get headhunters reaching out to me all the time. So, and I just go for interviews just because I need to practice.
Okay.
It helps me with my interviews as well. So I never say no. I just go for it, and then I say no at some point.
Must be such a.
It's a good feeling for sure.
No,
Now.
thank you.
But yeah, I might record that one.
I mean, it can be even just like this on the camera, but you know,
I'll just record the interview.
I think it's a basic. It's kind of like a trick, but it's not a trick at the same time because it's just really visual. Because you told that story by words to me right now, right?
You want to see it? Okay. No, I'll just record myself, and I'll pass some bits to you as well.
If I'm gonna see, it's not. I mean, it's not even free. If when you're gonna have your business properly on social media, just an idea for content, because that's gonna catch attention immediately. Like that's gonna help our brain to feel relieved more rather than just simple story. My next question. So yeah, I was mentioning that Alex now helps people with the whole process of finding the job.
You started with saying that I'm helping with setting goals, and I love this phrase, a man who knows not where he sails, no wind is favorable. And I'll rephrase it, I guess. If you don't know where you go, no wind is favorable for you. So setting goal is the first step that I'm helping with. It's some people know where they want to go straight away, and that's brilliant. But some are struggling what they want to do. So sitting there with someone who's been through it, I as I said, I'm going and I'm seeing all these companies all the time. I'm speaking with many people, and I know how companies are working, what sort of jobs are there, and I have very good understanding. And then when someone is coming, I want to be in consultancy, but why? What drags your attention there? Or we work through the setting up the goal where you want to be for sure, which industry, which role, and so on. And then it makes everything else easier because you'll be crafting CV for that industry,
Yeah.
for that role. You're going to be crafting your cover letter for that industry, for that role, and then just changing it slightly for every application you make, or you will set up the list of companies of who you want to reach out to. You will have, that's the strategy. You have, I have 20 companies. I learn everything about them. I know the people who are working there, in which departments they're working, and I want to reach out to them and somehow meet them. Or you will go to a pub on Friday evening, and you will be speaking to people, and you will mention for sure, I'm looking for a job. Which job are you looking for? And if you're like, any, no one's actually going to give you any job. But if you tell them, I'm looking for this specific, and then somehow, universe brings it to you, and then somehow the person will be like, I know this guy John who works for this company, who does exactly that, and slowly that's somehow what you do.
Yeah.
But again, at the end of the day, if it's larger company, you will have to go for it into.
By the way, to mention, just again to make it clear, what I said in the beginning about finding my job, the way I found it, probably wasn't not the best way to say it, because after I've met the guy, I told him that I was looking for a job. He told me that they're looking for somebody what I was looking for. They still asked me for a CV, actually. I mean, he still asked me to send the CV. They still had a look at it.
Yeah.
His director of the company, asked for a CV. Then I've met the director and him, the
And
owner.
you still had a
I still had the interview, basically. It just wasn't as stressful just because I knew the person previously. We've been in touch, I know what they do, and we are in good relations with them. So that was just, it made it easier, but it wasn't as it might have sounded in the beginning. I just came and I was like, he said, oh, there is a job, and I said, oh, okay, and next day I started. No, and I started 4th of January, which was almost in a month, because I got the job in December.
I just want to say a few words about the culture of the company. It's always very important, and in Bloomberg, big part of the culture is collaboration, and even this building is built with that in mind. So you can see this staircase that we're standing on. It's kind of wide, and it's designed for 3 people to pass by, and some people can stand on the side, and then others can pass by, and it's just with like thinking of people will be talking even here on the staircase. Moreover, if you look down to one of those like tables, all floors are open space, and you have 6 tables, six tables to work on, and then one rounded table in the middle. It's for people to just collaborate, and everyone is working on their computers. They've got an idea, they need to discuss something. They just turn around their chairs, and now they're. Got you another trick here. You'll be shocked, but very useful.
I like to be shocked because nothing can shock me pretty much anymore.
Very, I found it very useful for different reasons. There are 2 mindsets. First of all, it's like you want to have the mindset, I'm going there and I'm going to help them, I'm going to do something. So it's not like I am just going to get a salary or something. It's more of they need me as much as I need them, so I'm going to go there and help and do something. So that puts you at ease, first of all. And then the second thing is, before the interviews, you will be sent the details of your interviewer most of the time, and you will be able to Google them or go on LinkedIn and see their picture. Again, here is a combination of things. You will learn the job, you'll learn the company, you will know that very, very well, and then you will see the picture of this guy or a woman who will be interviewing you. Sit down in your chair in a quiet environment at home, close your eyes, and start imagining how that interview will go. Just actually use your imagination, how you will be sitting if it's online, how you will be in your house, in your chair, in front of the computer, and imagine this guy in front of you, what sort of conversation that will be like, how will they ask you questions, what questions that will be. Again, think about the job description and things like that. think about the role that you'll be doing. Imagine yourself being in that role, who you will be communicating with, what the building will look like. Just have that daydream, you know. Um, that will also put you in a huge ease. You will feel much more prepared. The questions will come up. That imagination process will help you a lot, because again, you will be prepared for some questions. You'll, but how, if you want to, how is this done? If you just actually like imagine yourself doing this role,
Okay.
how is this done? How is that done? And then those are the questions which will be interesting for your interviewer as well. Um,
I think I always underestimate this part, probably playing with your brain basically and preparing your brain.
yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of people are gonna think now, oh, why would I do this? Like, it's not helpful
Oh, it
imagining
is.
stuff.
100%.
But it's mind games.
Your brain will take it as I was here already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you imagine that stuff. You imagine how you say hi, how you will be smiling, how you will be friendly, and just a nice conversation. Just imagine that, and that's how it will go.
And then the time when you're gonna be there, probably your brain is gonna think it's second time doing
Second
it.
time. But
So it's fine. I know this.
it's
I know the situation.
It's good for many reasons. As I said,
Yeah.
like first you will have the opportunity to daydream about what questions to ask, how the role will look, and prepare you to use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very good.
True. So what you do with people and the way you help them with their path, can you walk me quickly through the process of what you do? When, for example, I come to you and I say, can I find a job? I've tried so many times. I'm tired. I'm anxious. Don't have money. Have this CV that I've changed 50 times.
Yeah.
Have 50 PDFs on my computer.
Mm.
Cover letters tried, but still don't understand what they want. And everybody said no.
Probably organized all those 15 into different folders, but
First thing would be
yeah, I guess that's the situation you're in. But the reality is, again, I will figure out. I will ask you so many questions about. Tell me about yourself, but that will be in a different, in a friendly format than
interview.
Interview is friendly as well. I said it wrong.
Well, just not in front of the camera.
But then you can be not like scripted in a way.
Yeah.
But I will want to figure out everything about where you're coming from, where are you going, what your experience, what you've studied, why you've studied, and things like that. And will build a picture of you as a human and as a professional and a future professional. That's important, and it's important for you as well to understand yourself. It helps going through your life. The second is we're gonna start based on what you've told me, based on your interests. We will come up with what are the potential routes we're gonna go to. What is the jobs or what are the industries that we're going to be tackling? As I mentioned, very important to figure out 1/2 industries or a job that you want to do.
Okay.
And then we'll start doing the research about the industry or / the job. Most of them I already worked with or know, so I'll be very helpful resource there of guiding you through this research. But then some things we will be learning together. But very important for you to understand that. And then once we have that, we will again identify the companies, identify the jobs, start building for that CV, cover letter, LinkedIn. And then there are different ways. I would spend around 20% of the time, 30% of the time applying for jobs through the job openings whenever they come up.
You said you.
With them, you.
Okay.
But we will do it together.
Yeah. So
you will do it on your own as well, because we're not going to be spending all the time, but we will be working on that together. I want to be updated and stuff.
Okay.
But so you will be spending 20 to 30% of the time applying, and then the rest of the time is going through finding maybe recruiters, finding headhunters, reaching out to people, commenting on LinkedIn. There are different ways to go, and that's where we come to your way, because that's the right way. We're gonna go and network and find people who will be able to help us, but we're gonna be doing it from the number of companies that we identify, that we know where we want to be, and we're going to be tackling those companies, not everything in the world. Whoever's going to give us job, let's do that. We're tackling exactly those people.
Somebody. No, but
or those roles.
A lot of people also, like, I mean, it's let's say scary, and you feel like you're dumb when you comment on some HR's post. What do you say? Like, please give me a job?
No. That's a bit smart. It's like, that's an interesting post, or
but you always feel awkward because she's gonna open he's gonna open your page, and they're gonna see that you're looking for a job or you're in the same sphere, so she's gonna know why I commented, and then I'm gonna feel embarrassed. I'm already embarrassed because I only thought of that.
Well, next. If you'll become natural if you do it all the time. So.
Okay, so I just gotta overcome it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why that's coming up. You just do it. You're being friendly to people, being nice, and then slowly you build that network into something nice. But again, we select where we want to be, and then once we start getting invited, and I say we because I see this as a teamwork at that point, and then we start getting invited to the job interviews, and I will help you can craft those stories. Tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work for us? What do you know about the role? Why you want this role? What are the skills that are required for this role? Tell me about the situation when, and there are going to be several of those questions. Do you have any questions? Where do you see your 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why? This is actually very good. It's super easy, and that's one scripted. A lot of people say the same things, but
where do you see yourself 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, not in your company.
Thank you.
Next. Bye. I failed my interview.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you're gonna give the templates. All the templates you're gonna do.
We're gonna that's
we're gonna do together.
Templates you can get online. You don't need me for templates. We're gonna do it together. We're gonna craft your personal strong story for this specific job. You're gonna stand out so much than everyone else because you're gonna be so well prepared. You will know.
Where do you give them money?
One of the girls who came asked for help. She was interviewing for a legal company without legal degree.
Is that possible?
Yeah,
it's like medical doctor.
She was interviewing for HR, so again, it's possible for apprenticeship in HR.
Okay.
And when she left the interview, she came back to me and she was like, Alex, they asked me 10 questions. 9 out of 10 questions I was already knowing. Like we prepared for 9 out of 10 questions. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's very good. Usually you're not prepared even for one. You start back in Ukraine.
Yeah, that's why you have to prepare. So and she knew 9 out of 10 answers, and she came very very presentable on those. And moreover, I am for that 10th question. You'll say about the do with the 10th question when. I'll be helping you going through those questions and how to prepare. I will tell you why they ask you this question. What sort of things that they are expecting to see. Even with example, 5 years, they want for you to be like the person who will come here, work for us in 5 years, learn the job that they do, starting helping others, and then hopefully move on to the next role within the company as of like manager or whatever that will be. So they are looking for that, and then I'll be explaining. Okay, when they ask you these type of questions, this what they're looking for, and if something comes up that we haven't covered, you'll be like, but why they asked me that? Okay, here's why, and quickly come up with something on the spot.
Okay, yeah, it kind of helps knowing why they ask it.
Yeah.
The reason, because usually you just you just start assuming, and you think, oh, why they ask it, and why it's dumb and stupid question. But yeah, if you explain, I just now came to this thought. came up with this thought that it might help knowing what's the background, why they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where my legal background is kicking in. That's like, I
Nah.
want to know all the time what, like, with the other side of the table, what's going on.
Yeah.
I figure that's the best way, because you're presenting not just what you've got, but you're presenting from what they need.
Okay.
The worst piece of advice I've ever received: be yourself. On the interviews, and I will always fail, because the outcome, that's me. It's what they're looking for, and then yes, myself as a confident, as a friendly, as a nice individual, smiling. That's myself. But I'm and my experience as well, because I'm not going to be applying for engineer if I want to be in sales, right? So I am a sales guy going into sales,
But know
but
yourself,
but
right?
I know myself, and I know what they look for, so I
Yeah.
present myself in a way that, hey guys, I know that this is what you're looking for. That's who I am.
Yeah, show them what from yourself they need.
Yeah, this is me, this is you. That's why we work together. Oh, I love this. Why do you want to work for us? And then you can say that the company has diversity and inclusion background. And I'm Moldovan. I speak 4 languages. I used to travel many different countries, and wherever I go, I like to be in the place where the locals are going to, so I can learn more about their way of living.
Yeah.
Being a part of Bloomberg, or being a part of this company who has diversity and inclusion as part of their culture, will open me up. I will know that I will always be heard, and I will be learning from others as well as they will be learning from me, of diverse backgrounds with different views. We get to the same goal. That's amazing. So what I've done there, it's like me. I love different cultures, a bit about them, like, and you have this diverse inclusion. That's why we work together.
Okay, yeah. That's a very good point. Do you have any funny story, like one of the last questions, do you have any funny stories from the times now when you interview people? Because you Alex now is on the other side from us all. He's interviewing people, and he's the guy I'm scared of usually when you go to interview. So is anything, because I know that sometimes people tell you just outrageous or weird things ever.
And here's one thing, by the way, is you said a little bit worried. We are worried as well.
Yeah,
Guess
yeah,
what?
yeah.
We are as well.
Yeah.
So we both want to have good time. I am, for some reason, like me, my other guy, a little bit worried before we go to the interview. Are we going to make the right choice? It's going to be a nice conversation. We're representing the company, so we want to present it nice. Not everyone like that, but we are a little bit worried as well. Let's have a good time. Let's just, like, if everything's going well, it's going well. But one of the funny stories, never do it. Never do it. The guy was in the US, and I was here in London, and we had a Zoom call. It was for the New York office. So, first of all, he comes in the car, on Zoom, in the car, on the call in the car, which, it's like, okay, if he would be good, that wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Second of all, he comes. We wear shorts. So he comes to the interview in his hoodie. Okay. Again, still possible. Don't do it. But still
if you're
possible.
Lucky and somebody was
no, if everything else was excellent, then probably that wouldn't be looked at. But if there is a in between that could play a role as well. So come dress nicely, present yourself. Again, you've got one chance to impress. Why not come in a shirt? So he comes in a hoodie, in a car, and then we start having conversation. He started coming with, I have 3 businesses. I sell Amazon. I do that. And why are you here then? So he came across as not prepared. He came across as someone who doesn't really need this. Just he saw it. He clicked apply for some reason, and there we were. And at some point, I'm asking him a question, and then I started telling him about us a bit more, so I can see that he doesn't know too much. So I started explaining what we do, and while he was listening to me, he just like did this with his vape. So he started vaping, and he was hiding it, and I'm like, "Excuse me, why are you hiding it? Why are you hiding like this? We are even though we're on Zoom, I can see you clearly, just like we are next to each other. So there is like, please, I don't know, don't do it.
Pretend that you need to like, right?
That's a funny story. The guy did not move any farther clearly. But so those little things, manners, they could affect your application as well. But his answers were not great either. So there was no chance.
That's so funny, vaping. Well, yeah, as I said, sometimes you don't think that exists, but that exists. What am I gonna say? What you gonna give us? What you gonna give us? Are you gonna give us free templates for cover letters?
You already know what I'm gonna give, but my details will be in description. How to reach me out on what social medias. So my social medias are in the description. So reach out there, and for the first 10, no, I'm joking. For whoever reaches out, I will send you the CV template. The one we mentioned about, so it looks clear, it looks nice, and all the sections are there in the template, as well as cover letter. And I'll be very happy to have like a half an hour catch up, going through your particular situation, what you're up to right now, and then hopefully we can work together, and I can help you with getting the job of your dream, something that will excite you and motivate.
Exactly, because we do not want to suffer as if we're in USSR. I don't know, I always just do those examples, but that's true. I mean, people suffer there. So we do not want you to go to the same job complaining every day, waking up early, or even if you wake up early, just you should do it if you like it. This is why you're gonna receive all the templates, CV template, cover letter template, and 30 minutes, right, with you. Any questions you have about interviews, how to pass interviews, how to make the best impression on the person that interviewing you, because you literally, I mean, I think it's very valuable because it's literally help from the other side, right? The person who is interviewing is going to tell you how he wants that to be and how he needs that to be, because not because he wants actually, but you know, companies, policies, it's a huge company and they have standards. Again, I think that's great. Thank you so much that we did this actually. I love interviews and I love when we just, you know, come up with something interesting ideas and interesting conclusions in the video. And hopefully this is going to be very useful for those who watched it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was fun. I'm gonna have my snacks. Look, last 10 minutes I've been thinking about my snacks, to be honest. Every time I come.